YouTube? This is Blade HQ coming to you guys today with another knife review. Had a request to review my Spyderco Southard, and because I've been thinking about trading it recently, I decided I might as well get a review out there just so that for those of you who have wanted to see it, you could get it out there before I get rid of it. So here is just the box, just a normal Spyderco box, just like any other. There, I'll see if it'll focus in, is the the barcode and all that good stuff. So we'll get into the knife here. This box really didn't come to me in very good condition. I bought this off of a Facebook post. Actually, I traded for it from my Benchmade Auto Striker. And the guy said it was new, and the knife looked new, but the box looked pretty beat up. It's got this back here, and I don't know, it's got some rips and stuff in it. I was just kind of disappointed with the box, but the knife at least looks good, which is what's important, really. So here's the knife, guys. This is a fantastic design, one of Spyderco's first flipper designs, and it's not like this super smooth, really fast flipping knife. As you can see, it's not like that fast. You can, if you really put some force in it, you can get it to fly out fast, but it's not super quick. But it is pretty smooth, and you will get a consistent flip most of the time, unless you just have a really bad flick. But there you can see the flipper there, and this one is more of a push down flipper. You kind of going like pushing down instead of some you push straight into it. This one you're kind of just pulling down on it and it flicks open. So alright, well, let's get into some specs of this knife. The blade steel is CTS 204P, and I'm not sure if they've made this knife with other steels. I'm not sure. I feel like they have, but I don't know. Anyway, it's a great steel. A nice thick stock there. The stock, let's see, the blade thickness is 0.16 inches, so it's a pretty, it's a pretty nice sized piece of steel there, and it is, nice sweeping blade. So you got a really long cutting edge. The cutting edge, let's see, let me get out my ruler. Where's it at? There it is. Let's look at the cutting edge here. The cutting edge, while it is smaller, the knife itself is actually smaller than the Paramilitary 2, you can see. But the cutting edge is actually bigger by almost a 1/4 inch, I feel like. Let's see. So the cutting edge on here is almost 3.5 inches compared to the Paramilitary, which has a cutting edge of 3 1/8. So there's quite a big difference there in the cutting edge. They just really utilized the blade, whereas with the Paramilitary they've got that finger choil there that really takes away from all of the cutting edge. But they really use all of the blade for this to get as much cutting out of there as possible. There's not really a ricasso there to give you room for sharpening, which is kind of a pain when it comes to sharpening this guy. But you get a really nice big blade, so that's nice. There's some jimping on top here, and it doesn't do very much. As you can see, it's pretty, there's not very much of it. It's pretty rounded, but although the jimping, while the jimping isn't that great, this knife just fits so well in your hand that you've got such a good purchase back here on this part of the blade that your hand's not going to slip off. And when you do have, it gives you a little bit of traction, not a lot, but enough that you've got a good handle on this knife. Whether there was jimping there or not, you'd have a good handle. Let's see. It is a frame lock design, so it's got a titanium frame lock on this side, and then G10 over here with a slab of titanium underneath there for the scale. And it is milled out titanium. I don't know, you probably can't see it with the camera, but the show side is milled out in the titanium there. And it's a nice flow through design, so it's easy to clean and everything like that. Let's see. The pocket clip is probably one of the things that this knife gets what's it called? And it just gets bumped on a lot because you got this nice pocket clip, and it would be good for the most part, except that it's really pointy right here. It's not so pointy that it's gonna like actually hurt you or anything like that, but it's just pointy enough that I don't know. It can hurt if you really push your finger on it. And I've had times where it's gotten caught on stuff. It's just not a great pocket clip, and it doesn't really follow the shape of the knife. It's curved right here, but it doesn't really follow the shape very well. So I think they could have done a little better on that, on the pocket clip, but overall it's not bad. You've got this, you got this nice G10 scale over here, and then on the other side you can see you've got this G10 over travel, this lock stop here to keep it from over traveling when you disengage the lock. And let's just look at the lockup. I don't know if hopefully you can see it, but it's like 50% lockup. It's a really big lockup, which I don't know. A lot of people say they like it between 30 and 40, but this like on mine, this looks like it's like easily up to 50 or past that. So I don't know if more is better. I feel like it's not really. I feel like around 30 or 40 would be really ideal. However, this knife is absolutely stout, and it does not move an inch. It does not move at all. It is perfectly rock solid. The blade centering is almost perfect. It's not quite, but it's pretty close. And I feel like when I got it, it wasn't quite as good as it is now, and I took it apart because I was looking at getting a custom scale made for this, and I was going to send it into a 3D scanning company to have the scale scanned and then make my own scale for it. But that ended up being a whole lot more money than I thought it would, and so I didn't end up doing that. But I think when I put it back together, it kind of lined up the blade a little bit better than it had been before. So it's a little bit better than it was when I first got it. I was a little disappointed with how it wasn't like touching either of the sides when I first got it, but it was just a little more off center than I would think a $250 knife should be. So what else? Well, as you can see, like, man, this titanium is a fantastic finish on this titanium. It's in this nice stone wash, and it's just like a flat. Man, I love the finish on it. It's just fantastic. It's a nice stone wash, and it's you can scratch it up, and you're really not going to notice it because that's just what stone wash is for. It's to be able to hide the imperfections, and it does wonders on there. So I love that. And then also the blade is a really light stone wash. It almost looks satin, but if you look close enough, it is a stone wash finish. So that looks really good. And the titanium and the steel go really well together, in my opinion. They do have another version of this knife that is black on black, so it's a black G10 and black blade. And man, I've been rambling. I totally forgot. I was in the middle of giving you guys specs, wasn't I? I just get sidetracked because I love talking about knives, and I just love talking about all the different parts of them and everything like that, and I just totally got sidetracked. Let me get back to the specs on this knife, guys. So the overall length of this knife open is 7.96 inches from head to toe. Closed length is 4.5 inches. The blade length, the total blade length is 3.46 inches. So almost that entire 3.46 inches is made, is got the cutting edge. So you have a really nice cutting edge for the size of this knife. And let's see, got that. The weight on this, it does use titanium, but it's still a fairly big knife, and you got thick stock here. So the full weight of this is 4.1 ounces, which is kind of hefty for some people. For me, it carries really well in the pocket still, and I still love it. I don't really mind weight that much, as long as, for me, the biggest thing when it comes to a knife is not the weight of it, but how it feels in my pocket. If it's like in my way in my pocket, and it's just like obtruding my pocket so I can't get other stuff out of there, then I just don't like it. But this, it's nice and thin in its design, and so it fits really well in the pocket. And you get the Spidey hole here, which you can use to open it. It's pretty difficult though. I mean, I can't flick it open. It's almost like my Spyderco Techno, because the Techno has a smaller hole too, and you kind of have to open it the same way. You kind of have to almost put your thumbnail like directly down in there and flick out and up. But it can be done, but I don't know why you would. The flipper's so much easier. So okay, so there you go. That's the specs. And this is a Carson flipper design. Okay, and it's a, you know, obviously a Brad Southard knife, hence the Spyderco Southard. Shoot, what is it? What else is there? This steel. I don't really know much about the steel, guys. It's made in Taichung, Taiwan, and I don't have a lot of experience with those knives from there. I've got a couple. I've got the Technos from there, and I feel like I had another knife from there, but I might have sold it. I forget what it was. But anyway, I don't really have any experience with this 204P, and I really haven't used this knife that much either. I've used it for like simple cutting stuff, you know, maybe a box here and there, you know, just really simple stuff. So I really can't speak to how well it holds an edge, although I would say it doesn't take an edge super well. So I guess that would mean it's probably a pretty hard steel. So really, the harder it is to sharpen, most of the time, the longer the edge will stay. So when I did get this thing, it was absolutely razor sharp though. So, you know, it's obviously able to take a really sharp edge, just not very easy to get it back to that, as far as I know. And because I mean, I've only tried to sharpen it one time, but it was not a very easy task. So yeah, let's see what else. So there's this, you have a lanyard hole here, and that's big enough. It's not a very big hole, but in my opinion, it's just about perfect size, because normally, you know, if you're gonna make a lanyard for a knife, it's gonna be out of paracord or something like that. And that, I haven't tried to put any paracord through there, but like that looks like it'd be about perfect size for just one strand of paracord. If you need two, you probably won't get it through there unless you gut them. Then you might, but yeah. Let's talk about this G10. So the G10, it's like this nice earth brown, and I really like the color, and it's got this texturing, almost like a canvas looking texture, kind of like what micarta looks like. You know, just like a raw micarta has got the kind of texture on there, kind of like this. It's not like a checkered. It's kind of hard to tell what it is really, but I really like it though. It gives good traction on the knife, especially since you only have it on one side. But yeah, I really like the earth brown color, and I had a chance to get a black on black Southard, and I decided not to, because the reason that I was getting rid of my auto striker was because it was a black blade, and I couldn't bring myself to use it because I did not want to ruin the black finish on the blade. So then I was like, well, you know, that looks super cool, and so did my auto striker, and you know, I just thought, well, you know, I'm gonna get it, and then I'm gonna I won't use it because I don't want to ruin the finish on it. So I decided to go for this one because I don't want to just keep my knives in a drawer and not use them ever. I want to use my knives, and yeah, they may go down a little bit in value, but I don't want to just, I mean, I like collecting knives and I like having them, but I don't want them to just sit there unused, unappreciated. So I like to use them. And so some people, you know, some people may not do that. Some people may, you know, never use any of the knives they collect. But maybe one day if I get up into like a, you know, $1,000, you know, anywhere, you know, those really high-end custom knives, I probably won't use those, but those will probably just be in a display case somewhere. But I've got a long way to go until I can afford something like that. So yeah, guys, I think that's about it for this knife. Overall, it's, you know, it's like a $250 knife, and really for the money, I know Nut and Fancy said this. He didn't think it was worth the money that you paid for it. For $250, I don't know that it's quite worth the money you pay for it. I feel like the ball bearing system for the flipper could be better. And it is ball bearings. It's a cage ball bearing system in there. Could be better. Could be smoother. The pocket clip, there's no excuse for that. That should be better for sure. Jimping should be better on there. I mean, overall, man, it's a nice looking knife, and it looks really great. It looks, you know, just like a classic Southern knife. but for $250, I wouldn't quite say it's worth that. And for if you're getting it just to look at, just to collect dust, really just to collect and look at, then it might be worth that $250. But if you're gonna use it, if you're gonna use the knife and really actually carry it and everything like that, then honestly, in my opinion, I would rather carry the paramilitary, just because it's like $100 cheaper. You have almost as long of a blade. You got just as good of a handle. And I can't really, like I say, I don't really know that well about the steel, but I do know the S30V steel on the paramilitary is fantastic. So, in my opinion, if you're gonna buy a knife to use it, I would not necessarily buy the Spyderco Southard, just because for the money, I wouldn't say it lives up to the money that you pay for it. So that's kind of one reason why I kind of am thinking about trading this knife, just because it was $250, and as much as I love it, I still kind of baby it just because of how much I know I paid for it. And so I don't use it for any hard tasks. If I'm gonna like rip up some carpet or something like that, I'll definitely pull out my paramilitary, because I'm not gonna do that to this knife. And like I said, I like to use it, but I don't want to abuse it either. So, and then in that regard, I'm just kind of like, well, am I using it enough to justify the money I spent on it? And I traded for it. I shouldn't say I've spent money on it, but and I kind of feel like I haven't. So that's why I'm thinking about trading it. And I'm not really sure what I'm trading for. I posted some pictures in a description on Facebook on a Spyderco sale and trade page. If you're on there at all, if you're looking to get a Spyderco knife, there's a bunch of guys selling Spydercos, buying Spydercos, trading, all the different stuff. If you're looking to get a knife used, a lot of them are used, go on that Facebook page, and they've got lots of stuff there, and you'll see that I've got my Southard on there. I haven't found any good deals yet, though, and no one's offered any good trade yet. And I don't really feel like selling it, because I don't know, because then I've got to really make another choice on I don't know what to buy. I'd rather just trade knives. So yeah. What else, guys? Oh, I'll give you this little update. So I don't have a gun. I am not 21, so I can't own a handgun in Indiana. But I can have my concealed carry permit, and I have applied for that. And this Wednesday, I'm going to go get fingerprinted to be able to, get the process rolling for getting my handgun license. And I'm super excited about that. And I'm thinking, I've done tons of research on different handguns I want, because I turned 21 in the summer. And so I'm really thinking about what gun I want to get, what handgun I want to get. And while I really won't be able to use it very much, not use it, but carry it, because I'll be at school for 9 months out of the year and then working probably in a factory for over the summer. So I really won't be able to carry that much unless I'm out of work. But I was really thinking about the Glock 19. I really was considering the 9mm round, just because it's a lot cheaper to shoot. It is not a huge recoil of a caliber, and I have experience with lots of firearms, not necessarily handguns though, and I've shot handguns a couple times, but I don't have like a ton of experience with them. I've never had any formal training, so I thought that the 9mm would be a good first handgun caliber. And so I was thinking about getting the Glock 19, which I think is just, I don't know why some people don't like the look of those. The look of those guns. I think they look so awesome, especially compared to like the not the M&P Shield, but the Smith & Wesson. Smith & Wesson, what is it? They're 9mm. I don't know. I really hate the look of those things. I think they look really dumb, especially the grips on there. And so yeah, I'm thinking about getting that when I turn 21. I'm really hoping to be able to find something that I like. And so I don't know if you guys have any suggestions on a 9mm, or maybe not even 9mm. Maybe I was looking at the Glock 27, which is a .40 caliber, It's a small handgun, and I'm looking. My POU, nothing fancy, shout out, is concealed carry, and eventually home defense. So that's what I was kind of looking at, the Glock 19 rather than the 26, just because it's a little bit bigger for something like home defense. But then I thought, well, maybe the Glock 27, it's it's a small, it's got the same frame as the 26, but it is a it's a 40 caliber. So I don't know. I've just been looking all over the internet, different reviews, different looking at the different upgrades there are for all the different guns. And that's the great thing about Glocks, is that there's just so many upgrades for them. So really, I can do whatever I want with them. So that's really what it comes down to with the Glock, is that it's so universal, it's so easy to use, and there's just so many things you can do with it. So that's why I think I'm leaning toward a Glock to get, and it's also not super expensive, like $500 for the Gen 4 19. So that's what I'm leaning towards. So yeah, guys, give me some suggestions if you have any on different gun, different 9mm, really anything if you want. If you guys have anything that you would want to maybe trade for the Spyderco Southard, that would be cool. I'm not really looking to trade like 5 or 6 knives for this one, maybe 2 knives at the most. But really, I just want to trade like 1 knife for 1 knife. I want to keep it. I want to have some more of those high value knives. So, if you guys have anybody that would want to trade for this, or if you guys want to trade for this, whatever, just shoot me a message, and we can see where it goes. But anyway, guys, I've been rambling for a while, so I'll let you go. This has been one of my longer videos. So I will let you guys go. I'll see you next time, and we'll see if I still have this Southard next time. So, peace out, guys.